All right, you guys, we're talking about 3.5 today, solving inequalities using multiplying and dividing. But I want to ask you something first. True or false? Is 4 greater than 2? It sure is. That's true, right? Well, what happens if I multiply both of them, both sides of my inequality, by 2? Is that still true? Well, 8 is greater than 4, so it's still true, right? What if I divide both sides by 2? Is it still true? Well, that's 2 is greater than 1. It's still true, isn't it? What if I multiply both sides by negative 2? True or false? I get negative 8 here. Is that greater than negative 4? No, it is not. Notice what we did to both sides. That's false. If I have 4 is greater than 2 and I divide both sides by 2, negative 2, is that still true? Well, I get negative 2 is greater than negative 1, and that is not true. That's false. So if you notice, we multiplied both sides of an inequality by a negative number, and it made it false. There is a rule that we need to know, and these are our multiplication and division properties of inequalities. Okay, the only difference is if you multiply or divide by a negative on both sides, you must switch the inequality to make it true. So up here, when we multiplied both sides by negative 2, we have to switch the inequality and make it negative 8 is less than negative 4. When we divided both sides by a negative, we have to switch the inequality to make it true. Very, very important, okay? So look at number 1. We always get stuck on these ones that have a negative out front. Okay, so remember the easiest thing to do is just make it m over negative 4 is greater than negative 2. We solve it the same way. Okay, I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 4. You should hear a ding, 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 ding going off in your head. Why do you hear a ding, ding, ding? Do you hear me? Ding, ding, ding. That means that we multiplied both sides by a negative. So in order to make this true, we have to switch our inequality from greater than to less than negative 8. Okay, now let's check. This is any number less than negative 8 will work. I'm going to choose negative 12. I'm going to check with negative 12. So if I have negative 12 up here, divided by 4, well, that becomes a positive, right? Is that greater than 2? Well, 3 is greater than 2, so yes, it checks. You have to switch the inequality. When you graph, put negative 8 here, negative 9 there, and negative 7 there. Make sure you make your number lines right. Open circle around negative 8, and we're going to shade everything less. Negative 12 was down this way. Okay? Look at number 2. We are going to put our wall up. They're multiplying by 4, so we're going to divide by 4. Look at what we did to both sides. We just divided by 4, so that's going to remain true. So we write y is less than or equal to negative 9. We do not switch the inequality on that one because we didn't divide by a negative. Even though this one's negative, that doesn't matter. It's what you do to both sides. Let's check it. Let's check with negative 10. Or let's use negative 100 because that's way down there, isn't it? 4 times negative 100. That's negative 400. Is that less than or equal to negative 36? It sure is. So we know we have the right answer. Make your number line. There's negative 9. There's negative 10. There's negative 8. Does it include negative 9? It sure does. So we're going to put a solid dot. We're going to shade all the way down there where negative 100 is. Let's look at number 3. Okay, what are they doing to b? Yes, that is a b. Some people say, that's a 6, Mrs. Bowen, but no, it's not. So we're going to put our wall up. We're going to multiply both sides by -8. Ding, ding, ding. Do you hear it? It's going off in your head, isn't it? Because -8 times b over -8, that becomes just b. Switch your inequality to greater than or equal to 8. Check it. Let's choose 16. 16's in there, right? 16 divided by -8 is -2. Is that less than or equal to -1? It checks. Yes, it is. So draw your number line. Here's 8. There's 7. There's 9. It is equal to, so we put a solid dot, and everything greater than this way. Be careful on these. You can rewrite the problem if you want to. You could rewrite it as -3x. Make sure the symbol is facing the same way. It's greater than 12. We're going to divide both sides by -3. Ding, ding, ding. See how we divided both sides by negative? So we get x is less than -4. Check it. Let's choose a number less than -4. How about -100? Is 12 less than -3 times -100? 12 is definitely less than 300, so we know we have the right answer. Remember, there are an infinite number of solutions here. You don't have to check them all or you guys will be here forever. -4 here, -5 there, -3 there. Open circle. We're shading everything less. The next one says the quotient of a number and -3. Quotient means to divide. A number, we don't know, I'll call it m, divided by -3 is at most. So can it be bigger? No, it sure cannot be. It can be at most, so it's going to be less than or equal to 8. Solve it the same way. Multiply both sides by -3. Ding, ding, ding. We multiply both sides by -3. Switch your inequality. M is greater than or equal to -24. Okay? We're going to check it. I like to use 0 here because 0 is greater than -24. 0 divided by -3, that's 0. Is that less than or equal to 8? It sure is. Is 0 at most -8? Yes. All right. On average, a customer service rep helps at least 160 customers during an 8-hour shift. Write and solve an inequality to find the number of customers he or she can help during one workday. Okay? So we're going to let C equal how many customers helped during 1 hour. Okay, so it's an 8-hour shift. If they help 20 customers, you do 8 times 20. He or she helped 16, you take 8 times 16. If she helps C or he helps C, we're going to take 8 times C. And it says at least, so this amount has to be compared to 160 customers in her his or her 8-hour shift. So at least, that means that this number is going to be greater than or equal to 160. Divide each side by 8. We are not dividing by negative, so we do not switch the inequality. And he or she helps 20 customers at least during that 8-hour shift for 1 hour. Check it. 8 times, I'm going to use 21. If they help 21 customers each hour, Is that greater than or equal to 160? Well, that's 168, and that is true.